I'm Matt, and I know our Texas tour was a little short, but I really couldn't find anything more after the last video I did in Texas, which is weird because Texas is a really big state, and I should know, and everyone should know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm been completely out of it for the last few days, really tired and everything. Mostly because of the weather. That was a car. I really hope that was a car going by, not made that orb. But anyway, so the Texas tour was short, and I apologize. I wanted to do a video about the Goatman's Bridge there, but I couldn't find anything. I'm like, okay. But anyway, so our new tour guide is starting with Maryland. And this time, Maryland, I live in. But, and not far from this place. But apparently they only do investigations on special occasions, special events, and Halloween. I'm like, really? Only then? And it's closed to the public every other day. I'm like, let's begin. Point Lookout in Scotland, St. Mary's County, Maryland, is probably the most haunted area in the state. The Point Lookout Lighthouse has been called the most haunted lighthouse in the United States. Located on a point of land where the wide Potomac River flows into the Chesapeake Bay. Point Lookout was a place of numerous disasters and tragedies. It was once a site of a Civil War era hospital, a prisoner of war camp, a refugee camp for runaway and freed slaves, shipwrecks, and a hotel that burnt to the ground. The Point Lookout Lighthouse. Hold on. Annie! The Point Lookout Lighthouse at the southern tip is often visited by the investigators on the paranormal activities. Casual visitors, as well as state employees and park rangers, have also claimed to see, hear, and even met ghosts. And it's easy to see why Point Lookout has a reputation of hauntings. The southernmost tip of Maryland, a bleak and lonely spite of sand torn by storms and shifting currents, is at times mist and enshrouded. At other times, it is whipped and wild, the eerie cry of whistling ducks unregulated over the fog enveloped the bay. The lonely scream of an eagle is shifting. If you see anything moving on the floor, it's my dog. And shifting shadows in the woods and all contribute to suggest the presence of spirits and paranormal occurrences. Used for thousands of years as a hunting and fishing ground by the Yakimo tribe and indigenous Americans. If I pronounce anything wrong, please let me know in the comment below, and I apologize in advance. Americans, the area was first sighted by Spanish explorers in the year 1500. John Smith landed there in 1612. And if you guys know the story of Pocahontas, which I really hope you knew, y'all know who John Smith is. In 1634, there was an era settled by Leonard Calvert, who built his manor, St. Michael's Manor, established as a colony based on freedom of religion, St. Mary's City became Maryland's first chapel, where the Protestant sympathies turned against the Catholics and St. Mary's and outlawed Catholic Mass. The original families were driven out. When the state capital was moved to Annapolis, the St. Mary's was forgotten. The buildings fell into ruins and the town disappeared. During the Revolutionary War, Captain Risen Ball prevented a British armament of 70 ships from sailing up the Potomac River, St. George Island. During the War of 1812, Point Lookout earned its name by providing a watch post for spotting British ships. A lighthouse that became famously haunted was built and put into use in 1830. In the 1880s, developers built a resort and hotel and offered the cooling breeze off the water as an escape from hot, humid Washington, D.C., but the hotel burned down. Today, all that's left of the old hotel is a huge, rusty wheel that proves from the sand. During the Civil War, federal forces occupied Point Lookout, building a prisoner of war camp and hospital for the wounded from the Battle of Gettysburg. That makes sense why Gettysburg is not far from me. It's literally pretty much a drive for us. And we've drove there like many times. If you guys look back in the past of my videos, you can see a whole segment of Gettysburg videos and personal experiences and short little clips of when I was actually at Gettysburg. Not this year, I want to say 2021. Yeah. Or last year, one of the two. The camp and hospital were far from Gettysburg, so the trip up for some soldiers suffering battle wounded a long and arduous journey. The isolation of the area made escape attempts by Confederate prisoners of war also impossible. The Hammond General Hospital, designed with wards rattling out of the central hub, was shut down shortly after the Civil War. Camp Hoffman, the largest federal facility for Confederate prisoners, was built to contain 10,000 prisoners, but believed by some to have held up to 50,000 men. Prisoners were held in an open-air camp shattered in confined tents. It was hot and mosquito-infested in the summer and freezing cold in the winter. Conditions were crowded and dirty, and there were reports of contaminated water and spoiled food. A smallpox outbreak forcing the establishment to separate until the infectious disease and was buried in mass graves. One of the most frequent ghost sightings at Point Lookout is a man in Civil War era clothing. He is seen moving across the road away from that was once a smallpox unit. He is seen moving the gun ghost sandwiched across the road, reeking of mildew and gunpowder, wearing ragged homespun clothes. I cannot talk today. It has been postulated that perhaps a Confederate prisoner foreign illness hoping to escape, but as Lois runs across the road repeatedly, is doubt that he is succeeded in the escape attempt. I thought there was someone in my window right over yonder. Not yonder. I can't point either. The forlorn ghost seems to not notice the living, but preserves on his internal path towards an elusive freedom. The Taylor family once owned a large part of Point Lookout. In March of 1977, Ranger Donnie Hammett was at work on the Potomac River side of the point, taking environmental data. Early spring, late afternoon, came me a lonely time at Point Lookout. The few visitors had left. Hammett spotted an elderly woman searching for something near the beach. Hammett approached the woman and asked if she needed help. She told him that she was looking for a gravestone. Hammett felt all unwelcome, as if the old woman resented his intuition. As he moved away from the area, he had a good view of the road. He left shortly after and found his vehicle alone in the parking lot. He had not seen any vehicles on the road. He learned that the tombstone stolen from the Taylor Cemetery turned up at a local hotel. Perhaps the woman was searching for her own grave. Authorities are still not quite sure of the exact location of the graveyard. There has been numerous sightings of the ghostly woman always searching for the disappeared cemetery. A lighthouse has stood at Point Lookout Project its beacon since 1830, beginning as a 1.5-story house. The building has enlarged over the years. Now an automatic offshore light has rendered the old lighthouse obsolete. Okay, if you guys see anything moving in the background other than my dog, please let me know. Why is it always that when I do these videos, they are like, the spirits are like here? I didn't even feel anything for the longest time. And now I know I'm being watched. Maybe it's the story, but other than my dog, I know I'm being watched. And it's broad daylight too, so yeah. Point Lookout Lighthouse restored it to how it looked in 1927. Now it stands much closer to the shoreline due to erosion caused by shifting currents and storms. Numerous investigators have visited the lighthouse in the attempt to gauge paranormal activity. The Point Lookout Lighthouse has been featured in TV shows Weird Travels and Mystery Hunter. Strange activity has also been highlighted in TLC's series Haunted Lighthouses. In 1980, and this is really weird because I finished the Holzer Files. Creepy. In 1980, Hans Holzer, the famous pioneer paranormal researcher, and to let you guys know, he is before Ed and Lorraine Warren. So, yeah. And his team conducted an investigation using EVP's electronic voice phenomenon at the Point Lookout Lighthouse. They recorded 24 different sounds and voices in and around the area. Another group held a seance and conjured a special image of a Confederate soldier. In 1970, General Sword reported seeing the movement of strange lights inside the house. He heard murmur of voices, the sound of doors being opened and closed, and footsteps in the hall, all while he was alone in the haunted building. Point Lookout Lighthouse is also known for strange and unpleasant odors emerging from several areas of the home, as well as cool spots. People claim to hear the ghostly sound of moaning as well as the sound of men or a man snoring. Anne Davis, the wife of the first lighthouse keeper, maintained Point Lookout Lighthouse for many years after her husband's death. In famous photograph, the ghost of Anne Davis appears on top of the stairway in a long blue skirt and and a white blouse. She stayed on the lighthouse until her death, when she was found laying in the lantern room, having died while performing her routine tasks. One of the sounds heard in the lighthouse is a soft female voice saying, "This is my house." It seems that the dedicated lighthouse keeper prefers to haunt the Point Lookout rather than moving on. Laura Byrne, an employee of the State Maryland, who lived in the lighthouse in the 1970s, had several paranormal experiences there. She accepted the hauntings and claimed that she did not feel threatened by what she felt there being present. In a shocking photograph, Laura appears holding a candle. Just behind her stands a spectral image of a red raglan Civil War era soldier. They also heard the sound of heavy boots clumping along the floorboards at night. She hears a female voice singing merrily, as well as the sounds of ghostly men chatting and laughing. On one occasion, the mother of one of her pets heard a ghostly voice calling her name, Helen. But the most remarkable paranormal occurrence was when a spirit or angel or ghost saved Laura's life. Laura was awakened one night to see a strange configuration of lights dangling over her bed. She then smelled smoke and ran down the stairs to find that the space heater caught on fire. Perhaps the ghost of Anne Davis and her dedication to the lighthouse warned Byrne and protected her beloved lighthouse. Here are some of the things that happened during in and around the lighthouse. Now, Ark and Dove, where the two ships brought first European settlers, Leonard Palfret to Maryland. One of the passengers, Thomas Ellen, was reported shot and killed at Point Lookout. In July of 1864, the USS Tulip exploded off coast of Point Lookout. Despite the problems with a damaged boiler, Captain William Smith gave the order to increase steam pressure. The boiler blew up, causing the subsequent sinking of the ship. 47 souls were lost that day. 10 lived, though 2 later died of injuries incurred at the time of the explosion and shipwreck. 8 mangled corpses washed up on shore of Point Lookout. In 1878, a hurricane known as Gale of 78 ripped the salon deck off the cargo and passengers named the Express. Waves rolled the ship just north of Point Lookout, and 16 people were lost. The second mate, Joseph or James Henry, had knocked at the door of the lighthouse during storms. He sometimes appears on the beach in a sodden uniform before major storms. The old building of the hospital and prison are long gone, but much of the area is now underwater. Fort Lincoln was not completed until the end of the Civil War. The Friends of Point Lookout have rebuilt and restored the old earth wall for in some of its buildings on the Potomac River a sign from Point Lookout. Sign of Point Lookout. The Point Lookout Lighthouse is closed to the public except for special events such as Point Lookout Lighthouse Paranormal Nights, when the lighthouse is open from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Reserved reservations are necessary. Living History Weekend in June features Confederate memorial service. Civil War reenactor reenacts a Civil War encampment. There are heritage delays, historical information, and other information provided by genealogical and preservationist groups. Point Lookout Lighthouse. If I could go, I definitely would. In a heartbeat. I, um, maybe one day on your Halloween nights, I can get my mom to say okay with one day, maybe. Mom, if you're watching this, hint. And and other than that, I would love to go. I think I've been around it on a friend's boat, or yeah, boat, but I didn't really go on land because A, at the time it was underwater. I think we just had a hurricane. B, we weren't there for enough time to do that, and that sucks. Anyway, thank you guys for watching my channel and videos. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I am Haunting Girl, and I'll spook you later. Until next time, pleasant dreams.